Yo, what's up guys? I'm Grandmaster Shaman and welcome back to Flower Paradise, and today we are going to begin our journey into one of the most difficult challenges that you could possibly do in the Madden franchise, and that is take a 0 overall football team and try and make them the best team in the entire world, but you're not allowed to play any games. That is the key, because, you know, there's exploits for the games, and there's ways to be able to beat all Madden with very little talent on your team. So in order to avoid that, we're not going to be able to play any of the games. We're either going to watch the games played by the CPU, or we're going to just simulate the games and be the owner of the team. So we have taken the Detroit Lions that have a 0 overall football team, and we're going to try and make the Detroit Lions good enough to go to the Super Bowl. We might move the team a little as well. As kind of like a side quest, I want to be the #1 valued team in the entire league as much as possible. So we're sitting at 26th in value right now, and I imagine that's going to go down when we lose every game this season. But we currently have 64 out of 75 players, so because we started the preseason, we haven't had to cut anybody. So we can also go in and sign some free agents to our team as well, actually, right now. So if you guys are hyped, make sure you guys click the like button. That would be very, very much appreciated. I'd really like to see that. And without further ado, we're going to try and get the 0 overall Detroit Lions to the Super Bowl and make them a dynasty after being 0 overall. Every single player on our team is 0, or I guess technically 12 overall. That is the lowest it can go. Every player in the entire league is 0 in every stat category except injury, which is 11. That's the lowest it can go on injury. So right now we have Matt Patricia, the boy who used to coach for the New England Patriots. He's, you know, not honestly that good of a coach, but as you can see, every scheme that we have is at 100% because we currently have every player at 12 overall, and every player fits all of these because all of their stats are 0. So I think if we want to talk about what we're going to try and do, we might have to look at our free agents first, I guess. But I like running a Tampa 2. That's one of my favorite schemes to run. I like a cover style defense, especially in today's NFL when quarterbacks are just so powerful and, you know, there's so much that you can do pass-wise. I like to run a Tampa 2 because I feel like that best takes on the passing-oriented team, which means I like to run Dallas's 4-3 scheme because they tend to run a kind of Tampa 2 style defense, which I really like. And then as for offense, I like to run the West Coast because it is kind of a more, it's a more short-oriented passing game, which is a lot easier to, especially for lower overall quarterbacks, to complete shorter passes. So if we orient ourselves to the West Coast, I think that would be a good start for the team, all things considered. Though I think New England has a good game. I know it's technically a multiple power run scheme, but they run a lot of short passing plays in that playbook, and I think that would probably be our best bet. And now we have 11 roster slots that we can get on our team right now, which is pretty decent, including. So in order to make this completely fair, we're not gonna sign these two guys. This guy's retired, and this guy is not going to be back in the NFL. So we could potentially sign like Dez Bryant and some of these guys. Just to make it fair, I'm not going to sign Antonio Brown because that would be ridiculously overpowered at this point. And these two guys, I don't. The game just puts them in the free agent market because the game does that. So just to make it a lot more fair, we're not gonna sign those guys. But I do want to test something. So we're going to go to the trade center, and we're going to see if we can trade a 12 overall player. How much value do some of these guys have? So, like, Darius Slay is giving us $15.9 million of cap hit each season. So will this guy be able to get us a 7th round pick from any team? Not, look at that. It is completely black. There is absolutely zero interest. So that answers my question. So a 12 overall player is worth literally nothing. So that's fantastic news for us. So we're going to go into the free agent market, and we're going to look for 11 players that we can add to our team. So I'm going to actually go to practice squad eligible players, because in this situation, all of these players are going to be within their first 2 or so years of play, which means that they're going to be very, very young, which means they have a lot of upside that they could potentially have. So the first thing I'm going to do is get a quarterback, because quarterbacks can be very, very important to a football team. So Tyree Jackson is actually a rookie. I don't know what the draft class is going to look like, because in order to make it fair, we're not going to upload any draft classes. I was tempted to put in a draft class that was kind of like, you know, to get Joe Burrow and Tua Tagovailoa and all of those guys. But I think I might pass on that, just because it's a little unfair, because then you can kind of see what people's overall are and whatnot. So we have a few rookies here: Kyle Shermer, Nick Fitzgerald out of Mississippi State, Rypien, and Tyree Jackson. Honestly, Tyree Jackson has 86 speed at quarterback, and I mean, even if it's for just one season, we might have to draft, obviously, a quarterback in the next draft, but he might not be a bad pick here. There's also Rawson Thurber, who's 36 overall, which is impressive. I didn't know you can be 36 overall, like, legitimately. So the lowest overall guy is Kyle Shermer and Nick Fitzgerald. There's also Luke Falk. Did the Jets cut him after they played those games? Interesting. But let's see. So the thing about a West Coast is that they like to have an improviser quarterback as their starting QB. So we also like short throw accuracy, which Kyle Shermer seems to be a very much more accurate quarterback, while Nick Fitzgerald looks like he's more of a deep threat. In terms of, like, you know, 87 throw power is pretty darn solid. So I think in terms of, like, our starting QB, I like Nick Fitzgerald more. I watched him more when I was watching college football, because, you know, Mississippi State was just on television more often than Vandy. But both of these guys played each other a few times. But Kyle Shermer more fits the scheme. He's got the same throw on the one. He's got 6 more throw under pressure, though. So I think what we're going to do... Oh, this guy's got 72 break sack, though. He is a scrambler, but that could be very beneficial in all honesty. But this guy has more play action and a little less carrying. And what about injury? 90. I think we're going to add Shermer to the team, so we're going to sign him for essentially the league minimum at 51 overall, and he's going to be on the squad. So we've got ourselves our starting QB, who is pretty, you know, he exists, I guess. So, and then in terms of what else do we need? We want to get him some wide receivers to catch the football. Ray McLeod from Clemson. I just like this dude's name, to be honest. But we probably want someone who is a rookie and someone who can catch the football. So let's see. So in terms of catching ability, this guy has 85 catching and is a rookie out of Wake Forest, Greg Dortch. So he could potentially be our starting player. And then obviously Ray McLeod's second. Catching traffic is a little bit lower than Ray, but spectacular catch is higher. Though Ray has got a little bit more short run route running. But this guy has a year less experience. So we could potentially, especially if he's starting, he could potentially be a pretty good asset to the team. So my number one wide receiver on our team is going to be Greg Dortch. So that's going to be interesting. We probably want, honestly, some offensive linemen. We have 11 guys. We've gotten 2. So the other thing is that we're going to want, I guess if we want to do this, we want a pass blocking lineman. which right now the best pass blocking lineman is 69. We got this guy who played at Notre Dame. Hell yeah. If you guys haven't watched some of my other stuff, there's no surprise that Notre Dame is pretty darn awesome. However, he has 2 years of experience, and this guy is a rookie. Though this guy has 1 year of experience, and he's only 22, so that could potentially be pretty good. But this guy is a rookie, and rookies just tend to get more experience faster. So I might honestly... the problem is this guy only has 60 pass blocking, and this guy is 69. I think this guy might be the way to go in terms of like finding a player that could be in this position. So we're going to sign Weathersby to the squad. The best guy has 67 pass blocking. He's only been around for 1 season. I think we go with a rookie. I'm not going to be signing a guy out of USC. Gosh, USC. Can you imagine? My goodness. It's all about Notre Dame, let's be real. Plus, this guy played for for LSU. It's so... I feel bad for him because he graduated right before they won a Super Bowl. So, well, a national championship. I don't know why I said Super Bowl. It's fine. So, we're going to get Brumfield from LSU, and he's going to be our left guard. And then... let's see what we got here. We've got more pass blocking preferred. This guy's a rookie. He fits the scheme. He's agile. That works out for me. So we've gotten 5 players signed to the team. So we have 6 more available players that we can sign here. None of these guys are rookies. So, but the top guy has only 1 year of experience, and he fits the scheme as an agile pass blocker with 70 pass blocking, which is pretty darn solid. So I think we're going to sign this guy. He's 64 overall. That's not terrible. Could get him to the squad. And then we're going to sign our right tackle. And we got Marquez Tucker out of Southern Utah. So he's actually not, he's from the state I'm currently living in. So would you look at that? Okay, so we've got ourselves our right tackle. So we got our entire offensive line. So that puts us at 7 players. So the question is, do we want any defensive players, or should we focus more on our offense? I'm not really sure. It would be nice to know what the draft is looking like and where our players are, but we won't find that out for several weeks. So left end, this guy is a rookie with 88 speed at left end. I kind of like that, and I'm going to sign this guy to a deal. So we're going to get him onto the squad. Nice and easy there. Our defensive tackle, this guy has 80 speed. That's not bad. This guy only has 69 speed out of Kansas. He's a run stopper. Actually, pretty much all of these guys are run stoppers. So we want a power rusher, it looks like, to fit our scheme. We want power rushers so that way we can try and get to the quarterback as quickly as possible. The good thing about players this low overall is we can start investing in power rushing once they start getting upgrades, and they're more likely to get there faster because there's just such a low overall. So we might just go with Albert Higgins Jr. Out of Clemson and get him onto the team. Look at that. We're already 17 overall. So we've gone from 0 to 17. We have 3 overall defense, and we have a 29 overall offense. So we've made some progress, honestly. And then we only have 2 more players that we could possibly get here. So I'm going to be honest. I'm going to get myself a kicker because kickers could potentially be the difference between winning and losing a game. So we're going to go see who has the most kick accuracy. This guy has 99 kick power and 72 kick accuracy, and he's only been in the league for 1 season. So I think this guy is honestly the way to go. So we grab ourselves a kicker, and I'm gonna grab another wide receiver as our last possible choice here. So Antonio Callaway is 70 overall, which is pretty darn solid. I kind of like getting some rookies so that way they can try and get something going here. So we got a physical and we got a deep threat. What's their short route running? So 67 and 70. And he's got 79 spectacular catch. So honestly, this guy's not bad. He's 87 speed, which isn't amazing. Compared to some of these other. This guy has 93 speed at wideout. He's got 79 catching, which isn't bad. And his short route running is 74. So honestly, Emmanuel Hall might be just as good. So we might take this guy. So we'll grab a 67 overall wide receiver. And that maxes us out. So we now have all 75 players. We're 20 overall. So we've gone from 0 to 20 overall already. So that's not terrible. We have an entire offensive line that, you know, isn't 12 overall. But we don't have a running back. And we only have 2 wideouts. So it's probably not going to be too helpful at this point. But we had 11 slots. So we have 11 players that we can potentially grab. And who knows, maybe this 12 overall guy with a superstar development trait, maybe he'll be like, you know, 20 overall here in a couple of games. I don't know. I don't know how it will work. How many XP does he need? Okay, so he's got 19,000 XP, and he needs to get to 3,000. So maybe he'll get a upgrade next week. But let's see if we can potentially win our game. Actually, we need to go into our quarterback situation, and the starting quarterback gets less playing time. So we're actually going to put Kyle Slaughter as our starter, and Shermer's going to back him up. So we've moved all the way up from 0 to 20. We have 35 overall offense and a 3 overall defense. So we've vastly improved from 0 overall to start the season. So let's see what week 1 has in store for our football team. So we lost 105 to 7. That means we scored a touchdown. That's a huge plus. That's a huge plus. That means what we did was actually working in some respect. So we have Damian Harrison Sr. gets 8 upgrades. So all these guys are 12 overall players. And this really isn't going to do all that much for them. But hey, I mean, it is what it is. I'm going to auto upgrade because I don't think that's going to be that big of a deal. Oh, it didn't let me auto upgrade. So, oh, it's broken. That's fine. That's fine. It doesn't matter too much. So, I think we have to cut a bunch of people here soon. I will say, you know, from 0 overall, we were able to change the entire team with just 11 players. So, that's not bad. We take that 100%. And we actually scored a touchdown on the Patriots defense in the preseason. I know that they're playing a lot of backups, but the fact that we scored points is a huge plus because that means that we vastly improved our offense. Of course, then we lose 104 to 0, and we found an injury. Is it to a 12 overall player? It is. So Jesse James broke his hand. That's not that big of a deal because, he's 12 overall. But we lost 104 to 0. Let's see if any of our non-12 overall players have an upgrade. No, all of our 12 overall players are the only ones with upgrades. So we can't really do anything about that. I'm curious, though, how our team did in this game in terms of stat sheets. So, we had, Kyle Shermer had only 64 yards. So it looks like Kyle Slaughter ended up playing a lot more time. And he threw 3 interceptions and 0 touchdowns. AJ McCarron had a touchdown. Deshaun Watson actually played a vast majority of this game, which is interesting. Rushing the ball, Lamar Miller and Duke Johnson had both over 200 yards. Carlos Hyde had 141. And we had 1 rush attempt for 1 yard. And hold on, we'll get to it in a second. Yeah, so we had 2 rushes for -7 yards, 8 rushes for -17 yards, and 8 rushes for -21 yards. So nobody fumbled the ball, though, which is impressive. We had Greg Dortch had 96 yards receiving. So he actually caught the ball a few times. Emmanuel Hall, our other rookie out of Missouri, got the ball 4 times for 79 yards, which is pretty darn good. That means they both averaged over 15 yards a catch, which is pretty darn awesome. So we take that. And then Jesse James, before he got injured, had 3 catches. At 12 overall, he caught the ball. Actually catching the ball on defense or on offense, that's pretty crazy. So none of our players had any sacks. They had a J.J. Watt got an interception. This guy had 117 return yards. Hold on, this is probably awful. This is our rookie, but he's actually 12 overall. Yeah. But hey, I do like looking at this because look at that. Negative 29 offensive rush yards. But look at that. 160 passing yards. And we scored a touchdown. So Shermer had 1 touchdown pass in the preseason. Brady played the game until he got 100 yards. Cody Kessler had 3 touchdowns as the backup quarterback. You know, but we couldn't run the ball at all. Not that there's much surprise there. But Greg Dortch had 142 yards receiving and a touchdown. So we're at least getting somewhere, you know, in our first season. We're down to 30th overall in team value. So let's see what the Bills have in store for us at this point in the preseason. We lost 77-0. So now we have to cut 22 players. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna cut pretty much all these 12 overall guys. We're gonna get some cap space. I'm gonna go back, and we're just gonna go in. I think we can cut them from salaries. So we should look at who. Does any of them say penalty? Yeah, I don't want any penalty. And I want somebody who makes a lot of money this year. So this guy's going to incur insane amounts of penalty. We can't do that. This guy's only 500K. Wow. So a lot of these guys. Okay, so we're going to. Oh no, this guy's 64 overall. I don't want to cut him. Okay, so in that case, what really sucks is that we might have to incur a massive cap penalty. So our cap space right now is 39 million. So we can take some cap space penalty. This guy would 49 million for only 500 savings. So we want somebody who would save us some money. So I'm gonna cut Darius Slay. So I'm gonna release you. Yep. Ooh, damn, that hurts. Let's see. We want to save as much money as possible without incurring a lot of penalty. So this guy saves us a bit of money, so we're gonna release you. I'm gonna take a little bit of backspace there. We also received 2 new injuries to 2 12 overall players, Kerryon Johnson and Steve Lunga. So that's unfortunate, but they all have 11 injuries, so that's pretty much how that goes. Do we have anybody who's more than 12 overall getting an upgrade? No. So that's unfortunate at this point. But our current team, you know, considering... Oh, we don't have any backup quarterbacks, so I might honestly have to do that real quick. Oh, wait. What about Matthew Stafford? Did we cut him? We incurred a huge cap penalty then. Oh, no, he's still here. Okay. In that case, you know, we should be fine. I mean, our team has gone up from 0 overall to 20, so we'll take that. I don't feel bad about taking that at all. So this is what our team looks like. We have 2 non-12 overall defensive players. And on offense, we have a few guys. We have our entire offensive line. We got 2 receivers and a quarterback. So we at least know that we can do something on offense, but we can't do anything on defense. So we're going to go 0-16. That's just a fact. But hey, maybe the number 1 pick will be, you know, a solid defensive player. I don't know where to go at this point in terms of like where we should go in the draft. We'll have to see what the draft has in store for us. I'm a little bit worried because the draft could be very tricky in this game. I've seen a lot of people, you know, think that this guy is going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. And then, you know, it turns out he's like 70 overall, which is extremely low for the number 1 overall pick, which should be about 77 or 78 overall. That tends to be about the number 1 pick selection. Sometimes you get really lucky and is like 79 or 80, but very, very rarely. So we're going to sim our final week of the preseason and head into the regular season. So we lost 60-0, so we still can't score any points. Noah Brown was signed from our practice squad by the Bills, so that's really unfortunate. Actually, was that dude 12 overall? Unless, no, we got a bunch of people from... Okay, never mind. I think we signed a bunch of people to the practice squad. We signed a bunch of people to the practice squad from free agency at the end of the preseason. Okay, so we should be fine. Let's see if we have any players that aren't 12 overall that need upgrades. Yes. Okay, so our left tackle, we got an upgrade. So we want agility because that is our scheme fit. So he's now 57 overall. He increases awareness and run block finesse. Not exactly what we want in this type of situation, but, you know, we'll take what we can take. And none of our other players got an overall increase, so that's kind of unfortunate. But it is what it is. So let's check out our salaries real quick. I want to check out our cap space. So right now we have $54.5 million of cap space. So what I might do is I might actually cut a few more guys. So if we look here and we go over to our cap penalty and we put that to 0 and we look away from our 60 overall guys. So this guy would give us no penalty. So we're going to release him. Your team below the minimum roster size. So can we sign a rookie? Or can we sign a player? I don't think we're allowed to sign a player unless I'm crazy. Actually, some people cut their players over the last week. So as you can see, some of the players are a lot better than they were originally. So if we look at like 22, we got Tease Tabor, which is pretty good, honestly. We've got a wide receiver who's 70 overall. I kind of want to... Oh, Polite might not be bad. We kind of want in terms of we kind of want some pass protectors from this. There's Ray Armstrong. Nice. Power rusher, speed rusher. There's no pass coverage, guys. That's really unfortunate. A pass coverage player would be really, really good for us. So we've got, this guy is our only rookie pass coverage guy. So if we can try and sign him to the active roster. Okay, so he has been signed. So we take those 100%. Do we have any pass coverage outside linebackers? We don't have any pass coverage outside linebackers. I mean, we could just make a middle linebacker into a pass coverage outside linebacker. We have 2 players who are currently with 1 year experience that we could potentially add. Ezekiel Turner and Josh Woods. This guy has 85 speed, which is nice. But let's look at Pat, because Field General could potentially be good, and Ulysses wouldn't be bad. if he has some good pass coverage. So zone coverage is 63, which is actually one of the better ones in the entire league from middle linebackers. So let's look at zone coverage here, 66, and then left outside linebackers is 68. So not very much. We could also grab a safety and move them to linebacker. I know that's a bit, but compared to a 12 overall guy, I have no problems doing it. So let's see if we have a decent. There's CJ Moore. Look at how he has 0 everything. Yeah, we cut that guy. Hardcore. Okay, so let's check out zone coverage. This guy has 72. Do we have any rookies that are decent? Not really. 68 seems to be the highest. In terms of strong safeties, do we have any decent players? This guy has 72 coverage. That's not bad at all. We could potentially move this guy. He's 67 overall and he's 22. I might sign him and move him to outside linebacker. That could potentially be very good for our team. So now we have to cut 2 players, which we want to cut. We have too many linebackers, so definitely you. And, I mean, this left guard isn't doing anything. So, that's fine. So, we grabbed 2 players there. So, that puts us up to a much better defensively, a defensive lineup. I am going to move him to an outside linebacker position. I know that's kind of weird to do, but I'm going to move him to probably right outside linebacker. So that way he gets some playing time. He's not going to be amazing at outside linebacker, but he will have some more pass coverage, which will be nice. So our current lineup is looking like this. That's about all I can really do without incurring some major cap penalties, and especially if those carry over into next season, we don't want that because there could be some good free agents that we can pick up to really revitalize the team. And right now, we're looking in how bad of a shape. I mean, we're at $54 million of cap space, but I don't know. Like, right now, our cap penalty is $13 million. So, and look at that. We have 2020 cap penalty of 3.95. So, I really don't want to, if I can help it, get too far into the cap penalty at this point, because that would just be bad news bears for everybody. So right now we're sticking with a 24 overall team. We have at least enough here that we could get ready for this game and hopefully beat the Arizona Cardinals, right? Hopefully beat them. Knocking them down. Let's go. W. We lost 78-0. So Jesse James is coming in. No thank you. I really don't care because either way they're 12 overall as players go. So through one game, yeah, nothing in terms of stats. But let's look at how our players did that were playing in that game. So we lost 78-0. Obviously, we had negative 46 yards of rushing, but we had 107 pass yards and 5 first downs, which isn't terrible. He did throw 3 interceptions and 0 touchdowns and only for 107 yards. So this is the regular season, guys. We're not playing against backup players, but he was only sacked 1 time. That's impressive considering my offensive line is like 60 overall. But he completed 7 of 24 passes. We could all say that Kyler Murray here was a little bit of he had 7 touchdown passes, you know, so that's pretty good. Whoever's the Bears, Packers, and Vikings probably are super happy that I'm in their division. Yeah, we can't run the football at all. Kyle Shermer had a yard rushing, which isn't terrible. Larry Fitzgerald caught a bunch of passes, but Greg Dortch had 70 yards receiving, which isn't bad. You know, 17 yards after catch, 0 touchdown catches. We didn't have any touchdowns in this game, so that's kind of unfortunate. And I don't think we sacked him even 1 time. We didn't get any interceptions. Eric Berry, Buda Baker, and Robert Alford got picks. Did we get any tackles for loss? We did at least get a couple of our rookies got tackles for losses. So we got linebacker and left end. So that's not bad. We 100% take those. Our 12 overall corner got a tackle for loss. So we take those 100%. So 78-0. Not bad considering the circumstances. 100%. Not too bad in my opinion. So we have a 35 overall offense. We have a 24 overall team. So we've gone from 0 to 24 overall in the matter of 5 weeks. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you guys hit that like button down below for me. And let me know what you guys think of the series thus far. I'm trying to do something interesting with Madden because a lot of people seem to like the Madden content. So if you guys want to, you guys can leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think, what you guys want to see more of from this. And we'll see you all in the next episode. So peace out.